ऐ मसीहा नफस, ऐ महे दिल बरा, ऐ मसीहा नफस, ऐ महे दिल बरा, तख्त मेहदी के वारिस इमाम ज़मा, तख्त मेहदी के वारिस इमाम ज़मा.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Amma ba'du, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Our dear viewers, I greet you all that may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. In our last episode, we started the introduction to the role of Hazrat Uthman in preserving the Holy Quran. And I explained to us that during the time of Hazrat Uthman, Islam had spread to different places, even to the places of non-Arabs. So in order to avoid misunderstanding and in order to avoid confusion, so Hazrat Uthman took a prudent step in preserving the Holy Quran. So this hadith is narrated, the account is narrated in Sahih al-Bukhari by Hazrat Anas bin Malik. It said that Hazrat Huzaifa ibn al-Yaman came to Hazrat Uthman at the time when the people of Sham, that is Syria, and the people of Iraq were waging war to conquer Armenia and Azerbaijan. So Hazrat Huzaifa ibn al-Yaman was afraid of their differences in the recitation of Quran. No, I explained to us that their dialect had effect on the way they recited the Holy Quran. So for those who are not Arabs, this may lead to confusion and this may lead to creating different variations of the Holy Quran. So that Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman, he explained this as Hazrat Uthman, that, O chief of believers, save this nation before they devour about the book of Allah as Jews and the Christians did before. So Hazrat Uthman sent a message to Hazrat Hafsa saying that, send us the manuscript of the Quran so that we may compile the Quranic material in perfect copies and return the manuscript to you. Now, we should recall that in our previous episode, I explained that is during the time of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq when they completed the compilation of the first volume of the Holy Quran. So the Quran was with Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq. Then when Hazrat Abu Bakr died, Hazrat Umar became the Khalifa. The Quran was kept with Hazrat Umar. Then when Hazrat Umar died, that Quran was kept with Hazrat Hafsa, the daughter of Hazrat Umar ibn al-Khattab, and Hazrat Hafsa was also a wife of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. So Hazrat Uthman sent message to Hazrat Hafsa to send that original copy. So don't forget the copy of Hazrat Abu Bakr. And the copy of Hazrat Abu Bakr was compiled by Hazrat Zaid bin Thabit, who was a memorizer of the Holy Quran and who was the main secretary of the Quran, coupled with the help of those who have memorized the Holy Quran and with the help of the copies where they used to write the Holy Quran than during the time of Prophet. So Hazrat Zaid bin Thabit was called again by Hazrat Uthman. So it means the same copy that was made by Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq was the one which Hazrat Uthman used to compile or to standardize the Holy Quran, which he did during his own era. So when he sent, Hazrat Uthman then said to Hazrat Zaid bin Thabit. So Hazrat bin Thabit and Abdullah bin Zubair, Sa'id bin al-As, Al-Rahman bin Haris bin Hisham. So he asked these people to rewrite the manuscript in perfect copies. So Hazrat Uthman said to the three Qurayshi men, in case you disagree with Zaid bin Thabit on any point in the Holy Quran, then write in the dialect of Quraysh. Don't forget that the dialect of Quraysh was the dialect of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. So it was the dialect of Prophet Muhammad that Hazrat Uthman chose to be the standard copy of the Islamic State. So it means that Hazrat Uthman, he asked them to write in the dialect of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, that is the dialect of Quraysh. So in order to avoid discrepancies and misunderstandings about different dialects, the different ahruf, the effect the tongues were having on the recitation of the Holy Quran, to prevent misunderstandings especially by those who are not Arab. So Hazrat Zaid bin Thabit, don't forget, he was the same person that compiled the Quran during the time of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq. So he was also the leader, or he was also the chairman of the committee that Hazrat Uthman selected to copy out the Holy Quran. So Hazrat Usman asked them to copy out the Holy Quran. So they made different copies. So each copies, then Hazrat Usman now sent each copy to each provinces. So a copy for a province, a copy for a province. So that was how Hazrat Usman sent this copy of the Holy Quran to all the provinces under the Islamic State. And in order to prevent this this misunderstanding, Hazrat Usman now asked those who were having the copy of other ahruf, of other ways of recitation of the Quran, that they should do away with these copies. So some, they had to burn them, not out of disrespect, but to prevent the future bad occurrences. Some, they were asked to bury them, and so on and so forth. So they were able to get rid of other copies. So the only copy which was sent by Hazrat Usman was made the standard copy of the Islamic Empire. So from that copy, and Hazrat Usman, as he sent each copy to each province, Hazrat Usman sent a reciter with that Quran. It means the people of that province, if they have any problem or they have any question regarding the Holy Quran they want to copy, so there are people to answer them, and those are the ones who have memorized the Holy Quran. They knew the Quran by heart. So through that method, the Quran was safeguarded, and the Quran was prevented from being misunderstood, especially by those who are non-Arabs. So this copy of Hazrat Usman, people started copying out. So if you want to copy, you will go to the office, you copy out the Quran, you have your own copy. Then, in order to understand the recitation very well, those who are the reciters, whom Hazrat Usman had sent with the Quran, so they were the teacher teaching people how to recite the Holy Quran very well. So it was these copies that people were copying the Holy Quran till the time when almost all the literate people were having their own copy of the Holy Quran. So this was the step taken by Hazrat Usman to safeguard the Holy Quran. And now it is important for us to note that there was no way for interpolations to enter this copy of the Holy Quran, because people memorize the Holy Quran, like I said before, that the main way or the main method through which the Holy Quran was safeguarded was through memorization. So to prove that this Quran, which was done by Hazrat Usman, was correct and there was nothing wrong about it, they have discovered some copies of the Holy Quran, which when they did the carbon dating of these copies, it was around the time of Hazrat Usman. For example, a Quran that was discovered in Russia, so they called that Quran Tashkhat Mushaf. That is, it belonged to the time of Hazrat Usman also. Then there's another one, they call it Hosseini Mushaf. Then that one can be found in Cairo in Egypt. Then there's another one found in Istanbul, Turkey. So all these copies of the Holy Quran, those people, researchers, when they check these copies of the Holy Quran, they were, they are okay, they are in conformity with the Quran we are having today. So this shows the step taken by Hazrat Usman in preserving the Holy Quran. And it was from these copies of the Holy Quran that today we are having the same Quran till today, and there was no way for interpretations to enter the Holy Quran. So this was how the Quran was safeguarded by Almighty Allah Himself, like Almighty Allah promised in the Holy Quran that Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafizun, that we send down this exhortation and we will surely safeguard it. So inshallah, in our next episode we are going to discuss another thing about the Holy Quran, and this would be the end of our discussion about the preservation of the Holy Quran. May Allah help us, may Allah reward our efforts. Please don't forget to share with people, and don't forget to like. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.